It's TV producer versus TV producer with Casey O'Connor taking on Eric Berry in Seinfeld versus 90s WWE. This is Trivia with Buds. What it be? It's your pal Ryan Buds. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Trivia with Buds. We're a couple episodes into this podcast, and I think you're going to really like this one. This is an interesting match between two television producers. Two friends of mine. I work with them on Nickelodeon's Crashleets, a new clip show hosted by Rob Gronkowski under the Super Jacket production umbrella. Same makers as MTV's Ridiculousness, where I've been for the last 2.5 years. So I think you're going to love these guys, Eric Berry and Casey O'Connor, going head-to-head. Two guys that have worked in the clip industry and the production industry in general for quite some time. And their two categories were awesome picks. They're two things I'm really into. So listen up for what those are. And you saw them in the title. It's Seinfeld and 90s WWF trivia. So again, two things I love and grew up watching and appreciate quite a bit. You can watch Crashleets. It premiered in July, early July on Nickelodeon, and it's on, I think, 4 nights a week. And it's a fun family show you can watch with your friends, your kids, your parents, your grandparents. Everybody will get a kick out of someone falling down. Make sure you listen through this episode to the very end after the Trivia Showdown for the listener quiz. Remember, 3 questions at the end of every podcast that you can answer through email or on social media. Just send me the answers to those questions so I know you listened to the episode. And I will randomly pick somebody who got all 3 questions right to win an awesome prize. The prize will be something amazing, and you guys will just love it. So you can see where I'm at on triviawithbuds.com. Check out my website, my illustrious website that I get a lot of compliments on. Thank you for all the compliments. And check it out. You can see all the California cities that I'm in on a weekly basis. Cities like Covina, Calabasas, Northridge, Upland, Altadena, Simi Valley, and Sunland, California. You could see your pal Rye over at any one of those towns hosting trivia at places like wineries, bars, special events, all kinds of stuff. And if you have a party coming up, give me an email, ryan@ryanbuds.com. I'd love to come host a trivia party for you. You pick the rounds, I write the questions, and you just got to give me a few beers when I get there, and we'll get the show on the road. Again, check all that stuff out, triviawithbuds.com. Let's get into this episode. It's Seinfeld and 90s WWF trivia. Boom. Sitting at my desk at work recording this on a desk that I usually watch dirty internet clips on. And I'm here with 2 guys that are segment producers on a Nickelodeon show called Crashleets, hosted by Rob Gronkowski. 2 good friends of mine, 2 good bros I work with. We take trips to the comic shop together. We talk about each other's dogs. I'm picking 2 random facts about each of you. I wanted to have 2 people go head-to-head that I see every day that I know kind of well, but maybe I don't know 5 things you're really into. So the premise of this podcast is to have 2 friends go head-to-head in different topics, trivia topics that they are good at. And I thought of you 2 guys, and I'm so glad you're here. My first guest is a guy who runs a website called Living in Cinema.
I don't have a website.
You don't have a website?
No, I do not.
No? Talk up a little closer on that microphone. This is Casey O'Connor, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing?
It started as a website.
Sure.
I used to work at a web hosting company years ago, and they were like, hey, build a website and try it out.
Yeah.
And so that's what I came up with, but then I left that company.
Okay.
And didn't really follow up on the registration, and so now someone else has it.
So this is like a website. It's not an actual website, but you still kind of use that name.
Yeah, I just use it as like a username and a email address.
And
basically.
it's called Living in Cinema.
Living in Cinema.
Because
yeah.
you're a big cinema fan.
Yeah, I was trying to play on the term living in sin, and then...
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so...
Casey, you're...
it probably seems kind of stupid.
No, it's good. I before I knew you, about 6 months ago, I used to get all my daily news, my pop culture news from you because we were Facebook friends working in the same industry. And not only my pop culture news, I got my Florida news from you. You're a big fan of all the horrible things that happen in our most southern-tipped state.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I'm a really big pop culture junkie, movies, TV, recently comics.
Yeah.
I kind of fell out of that, but just started getting back into it. Mm-hmm. And then, Florida news always really fascinates me because they're hands down the craziest news headlines out there.
What's one of your favorite news headlines from Florida of recent years? Man. Anything good pop in your head?
God, it's like a constant thing.
There's a lot of teachers having sex with
A
students.
lot of teachers having sex with students. A lot of like encounters with alligators in like odd places.
Sure. You never know where they're going to pop up, those gators.
Sexual favors for odd items. It's Florida.
It's amazing. My other guest here is a dog lover. He's a producer. He has a brother who's also a producer, and he's an actor. He's a rapper. He does it all. This is Mr. Eric Berry. How's it going, Eric?
Hey, it's going good.
Sounding good. You ever do any voiceover as an actor in your days behind the screen on the screen?
One time.
Sure.
What kind of I didn't really book the gig. I booked the Domino's commercial.
Okay.
And then just as part of the package deal, they had everyone in the commercial to also do the radio spot.
Oh, okay, very good.
So I never
by
went
default.
out. Yeah, I never went out and booked a radio spot.
Name some TV shows that you've appeared on. I know we've talked about this. We've seen your reel. We've seen your IMDb page. You haven't done acting in about, what, 5 years? 6 years?
A little longer, maybe 2006.
About 30 years, it sounds like.
About 10 years.
About 3 decades.
I do like how you can talk about it a little longer than other careers. I think the credits have a little longer lifespan.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe because they're re-airing, but
you spit out a name of a show I used to love as a high school student.
What was it?
It was called Boston Public, right? Wasn't that the name of it?
Yeah, most people remember Boston Legal.
Boston Legal.
But, yeah,
a spin-off? Those weren't spin-offs, were they? Two totally different shows.
I think they were both David E. Kelly.
Which was the one with Shatner?
That was Boston Legal. But then there was also there was also Boston Common with the guy from Yes Dear. Where I think it was a college-based show, but you appeared on Boston Public
and Without a Trace.
Without a Trace, oh yeah.
Judging Amy. All the 1 hour dramas.
Sure, you made your run.
Yeah.
And they said, what kind of character would you usually play on those shows?
Always juvenile delinquents. I think I was on the stand.
I think you could still pull it off today.
Maybe.
Right?
I think I was on the stand and 80% of the shows I did.
Have you ever been on the stand in real life?
No. Did jury duty twice.
There you go. Very good. The premise of this show is to give kind of like a trivia showdown between the two of you. So I asked each of you to give me 5 topics of things you're really into, and I have picked one of those topics to ask you 10 questions about. So the premise of this is we will go over 10 questions for each topic for each of you, something that you're good at, and we'll alternate questions. So the first topic from Casey, we'll do a question, and then we'll go to Eric's topic. If you get your topic question correct first, you get 1 point. If you can steal the other person's topic before they know the answer, you get 2 points because you kind of beat them to it.
Okay.
Then we're going to do a thing called a showdown that combines both topics. It's one question to kind of, like a kill shot kind of a question, and it's about both of those topics. And then we're going to do a thing where we name stuff from a certain category. So it's going to be fun, and this is kind of like a shortened version of what I do at my trivia nights all around LA. And so I'm going to start talking about the topics you guys gave me. Here are Casey's 5 topics. I emailed him. I said, Casey, what are you good at? He said, here's what I'm good at. John Hughes movies, Seinfeld, Spielberg movies, 80s Saturday morning cartoons, and 80s one-hit wonders. Casey, what's one of your favorite John Hughes movies?
My favorite John Hughes movie is probably actually Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah, that's one people I think maybe forget was his, right?
When you think of John Hughes, you mostly think of
Curly
Breakfast
Sue.
Club.
No.
Yes, Curly Sue
You
is
think of
number
Curly Sue.
1. And she's having a baby being second. But no, you mostly think of the teenage-based ones. And, but Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, it's like every time it's on, it's like must watch. It's just constantly funny and never gets old.
He was a master of like all ages. I feel like he could really hit your funny bone and your heart bone,
Yeah, he's just all his characters are like really down to earth, and they're like just very easy to relate to. And I think that's part of why he still kind of lives on in the lexicon of American pop culture. So
awesome. Well, I did not pick John Hughes movies for you. The topic that I picked for you, and I have 10 questions prepared for, is Seinfeld. How do you feel about that? You feel strong about that?
It's gonna go either way. It's like I've seen so many Seinfeld episodes, but because there's so many, I forget stuff.
These are me and my brothers go back and forth through email trying to stump each other with really hard Seinfeld questions. So I got a few of those sprinkled in.
Yeah.
Now this will be interesting. Eric, are you a Seinfeld fan? Do you think you could steal any of these questions from Casey?
Casual
fan. So you might know a few.
Yeah, I know. It's my generation.
There you go. Very good. And you are in your late 60s. Is that right? No. Okay. Eric, your categories. Let's see. We said skateboarding. You used to be a skateboarder.
Yeah.
You still do that? You ever flip around?
I do have health insurance again, so
Sure.
maybe I'll get back into it.
Yeah, scab up those knees.
It's been a couple of years.
Early 90s WWF wrestling. That's my stuff. That's my jam. That's one of your topics. I feel like we have that in common. That's cool. Celebrity nicknames, fast food restaurants, and sneaker brands. I feel like if you are a skateboarder, you're probably into some goddamn sneakers,
Yeah,
too.
I had to go out on a limb. I really only felt confident about skateboarding.
So those other four were all BS?
Well, I mean,
Oh,
best,
boy.
that's the best. Hopefully you didn't get too in-depth.
Your topic is early 90s WWF wrestling, something that near and dear to my heart. So it is general stuff. And Casey, I think you used to watch wrestling,
too. I did
too.
watch wrestling in like the 80s and 90s.
All right, so Casey might have a nice one-up here. But Eric, I am confident that you will act your way in circles around old Casey over here.
I'm pretty sure you will.
Now, how you guys buzz in when you know the answer, I want you to say buds because I'm very egotistical and I just want my name to be repeated into a microphone. That's the whole reason I bought $500 worth of podcasting equipment. So just make sure you say it nice and clear. If you want to say king or anything like that before buds, that's totally fine too.
Oh, Captain, my
Captain Buds, that's totally fine. Captain Buds, I have a ship.
Budsy McBud's face.
Yeah, you could do that. Any version of buds, just to buzz in. That'll be kind of like your buzz in word. And then if it's really close, I'll just try and pick one, as best as I can. We're going to start with a question from Seinfeld for Casey. So here we go. If you get your topic right, Casey, you get 1 point. Eric, if you can buzz in an answer before Casey and steal, you get 2 points.
Since this is my category, do I still have to say buds?
Yeah, because he could still buzz in before
gotcha,
you. You know what I mean?
Do I need to wait for the question to be finished?
Yeah, let's try and do that just so the people listening at home and you guys can hear the whole question. So wait till I'm done with the question. They're not very long. They're pretty quick questions.
Trivia Showdown.
First question of the podcast. Seinfeld is the category. What baseball team does George Costanza...
Buds.
You got to wait till it's done reading.
I just asked
You were very...
I just asked you if you have to finish, and then I interrupted
And then you did it. Yeah,
I'm
well,
sorry.
that's a perfect example of what not to do. Thank you very much. The baseball team that George Costanza works for, seasons 5 through 8. What is it? Okay, so Casey...
That would be the Yankees.
The Yankees, that's correct. So Casey has 1 point on the board. That was his topic. He got it. Well done, Eric. Now you buzzed in pretty quick. That was something you knew from Seinfeld.
I'm thinking, how do I know when the question's over?
Yeah. Well, usually I'll probably stop talking. I'll probably take a little breath, and then you'll go, oh, okay, cool.
One of the mysteries of life.
Casey, what do you like about Seinfeld the most? What's your, a lot of people say that's the show of a generation, of a decade, all that stuff.
Oh, man.
What's your favorite thing?
Just the situations and the type of people they deal with in real life on that show. It's just so funny to me.
It was very relatable, more than other sitcoms.
Yeah, and it's not really like a New York thing. It's just like a social interaction thing.
Right. You get soup down the street in Glendale, California, and that guy's a real Nazi.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've seen that. Okay, here's the second question. Now, this is a question for Eric's topic. This is early 90s WWF trivia. What wrestler carried a live parrot to the ring and flapped his wings like a bird when dancing?
Buds.
Yes.
Buds.
Coco Beware.
Coco Beware, Eric, you got it. There's your first point on the board. See? So you that's not super hard, right?
No, that's a
They're
good
all around
question.
that caliber. You like that? All right,
Cool.
very good. When you're watching wrestling, who did you watch wrestling with? Just yourself growing up or your brother?
Brothers.
Brother, you have 2 brothers?
3.
3 brothers?
Yeah.
Are there sisters?
No.
How many Barrys are there?
4.
4 Barry brothers. And you guys are all similar in age, a couple of years apart?
Pretty 4.5.
You take all the couch cushions off the couch in the den, and you make it into a ring. And then
Couple
you guys
elbow
put a live
drops.
chicken in there. No, what do you do?
No, we never reenacted it.
Never?
That backyard wrestling didn't start until the late 90s.
My brother, my next oldest brother is 10 years older, but we have a huge love for wrestling. And then I have a brother who's 12 years older, and he's like, why don't you guys grow up? Like, to this day. He's like, how do you guys still watch this? And I always tell people, people's number one critique of wrestling is, it's not real, right? They always say it, and you're like,
Yep.
Nobody thinks it's real. The mentally challenged kids that watch this don't think it's real. It's like saying, Chris Pratt's not really a Star-Lord in that Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Like, I
always thought of it as kind of like a soap opera for guys.
Sure, people talk about it like that. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. I like the stories they tell. I like the stunts they do. And I don't watch a ton of real sports. I like the idea of a fictional sport. It's like I've always been into that idea. I even like stuff like American Gladiators for that reason, because it's like a fictionalized kind of sport. And I'm just a fiction guy. I'm not a huge nonfiction guy.
Yeah. When I was 7 or so, when they talked about whether or not it was fake, I always thought they were talking about the gibberish. They were talking, not the actual wrestling.
Yeah, like the lingo and stuff.
Like,
and
was that fake? The arguments and stuff.
Sure.
But
yeah. No, I mean, I don't. It's just a weird thing. Like people to this day, when I tell them I watch wrestling, they're like, it's not real. I'm like, yeah, but like that, like there was a time when wrestling people like they kind of tried to say it. They never said it was real, but they didn't say it wasn't. But that was over 30 years ago. And people that are telling me that are in their early 20s. And I'm like, you heard your dad say that? I don't understand how you even know to say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One of my favorite things regarding that was, I want to say it was Geraldo Rivera, some reporter on that kind of level back in the 80s, like was interviewing a wrestler and is like, well, it's fake, right? And then the wrestler just like slapped him and
slapped him in the face.
Totally
How's that?
Yeah. It's like, it feels pretty real to me.
Yeah, right. They just bashed a chair over Geraldo like they should.
Yeah, just like the show.
Here's the second Seinfeld question. This is in Casey's topic. Seinfeld, here we go. Buzz in with the word buds. What item does Elaine ask George to order for her at the diner that his girlfriend takes credit for?
Buds.
Yes.
Big salad.
The big salad, yes. And that's your nickname around town, isn't that right? When you
Big salad.
went vegetarian?
Yeah.
Big salad, Casey? I like that. What are some of your favorite things from Seinfeld like that? The whatever, the man hands, the whatever,
I like the Jimmy arms.
The Jimmy arms is great. Sarah Silverman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. I always forget that piece of trivia.
And then I think Frank Costanza referenced it later in the episode too, like says the same thing.
Yeah.
Just totally not connected.
Oh my God. Because Frank Costanza, they could do a whole show about him, right?
Oh man, I would totally completely watch the Frank Costanza spinoff.
Such a great show. That seems like something I feel like maybe they pitched him. You think they would have I feel like they could have done a cool spinoff of that.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what Larry David and Seinfeld kind of felt about spinoffs.
Yeah, that's true. Although Curb is like, it's like a quasi spinoff.
Yeah, especially the season where they did the Seinfeld reunion, which
yeah.
was great if you haven't seen it.
Oh, it's amazing. And they just announced that it might be coming back. Curb.
Yeah, Curb.
He just talked about it.
Yeah,
he hit up JB Smoove.
Talking with JB Smoove about it. So we'll see.
That's going to be something to hope for. One of my favorite Frank Costanzas is they're talking about Aunt Baby. I don't know. They're like George says something to his dad.
Oh yeah, it was like the sister that passed away.
Yeah, he's like, what about Aunt Baby?
We don't speak about it.
Yeah, they said like he's like, how about what was Aunt Baby? She'd love this, huh? And he goes, she'd never make it. Like under his breath, she'd never make it. Oh, it's the best.
What else? I like the whole Festivus concept.
Sure. Walk around with that big aluminum pole.
Yeah, just crazy ideas that Kramer had, like the coffee table book and taking all the recycling to Michigan to get like 5 cents more.
Sure.
Like, it's it's hilarious.
You mentioned the collectible coffee table book turns into a coffee table. You're a big collectible fan.
I am, unfortunately.
Your desk right behind you has about 50 pop vinyl figures on it, from Shaun of the Dead to John Cena to Ghost Rider. You're a big fan of Funko.
Yeah.
You keep them in business.
About 3 years ago, I was working at Ridiculousness, and I'm like, my desk is kind of bare. Let's see like what kind of odd thing I could just throw on there. And I found the Jabba the Hutt Funko pop vinyl.
Yeah.
Because it was like this cute version of Jabba the Hutt, and I just thought that was hilarious.
Of course.
And so that was the first one I bought, and then like from that point on, when I realized like how much stuff they licensed, I was like, wow, like these guys make stuff for
everything,
something that no toy should ever exist for. Like the Big Lebowski, or now they're coming out with the Golden Girls. It's like, who the hell makes a toy for the Golden Girls?
Yeah, it's just anything recognizable, people want to have it.
So that aspect of it is appealing to me, but I have way too many of these.
How many of those do you have in your house?
I have no exact count, but I mean it's definitely in the hundreds. It's getting out of control.
Wow.
Are you closer to 1,000 or closer to 100?
No, not that much. I'd probably say like maybe in the 3 to 4 area.
Oh my God,
are there
that's a lot. Oh,
there's over like 3
or
to
4,000. Yeah,
Wow.
There's everything. What do you collect? Anything? Skateboards, shoes?
Not really.
Nothing?
I do have some old skate shoes that are brand new.
Oh, really? You keep them in a box? You keep them on display?
It's like an accidental collection. Like the skate shop went out of business.
You wear a lot of like movie memorabilia because you're your lady friend.
Yeah, we like to call it swag.
Swag.
Yeah, I'm jealous because I wear a lot of movie T-shirts too, and I got to buy all my shit.
Yeah, Casey buys all his, and you get yours as promotional items.
Mm-hmm. I think I've told you I get into so many accidental conversations. People see the shirt and they assume it's my favorite movie.
Right.
And they start talking
They go,
about
oh, that's a great... I love Ray Donovan, too. Where'd you get that sweatshirt? And you say, I'm best friends with John Voight.
Yeah.
Right? You go out in casinos with John Voight. I feel like that would be a fun casino partner. Let's go in there, do some gambling. Here's your next question, Eric Berry. You got question number 2 for WWF 90s, early, all those things together. Here it is. What tag team consisted of the Mega Powers? Who were the Mega Powers?
Buds.
Yes.
The British Bulldogs?
Incorrect. You got a guess, Casey?
Buds. Mega Powers.
Mega Powers is 2 people. It's a tag team. Who do you think they were?
It was Earthquake and wasn't Tugboat, was it?
They were called,
Or
I think
Hurricane?
they were called like the Masters of Disaster or something. The Mega Powers were actually Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, okay,
and they
that
were
makes
the Mega Powers. They were best friends, and then they kind of fought over Miss Elizabeth. So at WrestleMania 4, Macho Man wins the belt with Hogan's help. And then WrestleMania 4 to 5, they kind of break up. And then at 5, they fought each other for like the first big pay-per-view. And it was like a year-long feud. So nobody got the point there. But
Any of my wrestling friends and former roommates that are listening to this are like just furious with me right now.
son of a bitch,
This
Casey.
Eric calls himself an expert.
What's that?
They're thinking,
Oh, this Eric Berry doesn't know anything. All right, British Bulldogs, get out of here. Yeah, the Mega Powers. It was. I remember the cover of WrestleMania 5 was like the Mega Powers clash, or the Mega. It was like them and a lightning bolt. It was amazing. Here's question number 3 for Seinfeld. What is the name of Kramer's company when he employs his own intern?
Buds.
Yes,
Kramerica.
Kramerica. There you go, Casey. It is Kramerica.
we got to make
The ball of
Kramerica
oil.
great
It's
again.
classic.
This is not going to get you a point, but do you remember the intern's name?
Oh God, no. I know his face and I could see him, but I can't
He's
remember.
he's a character actor. He might have been on Boston Public. Probably not though. Darren. It's Darren.
Darren.
He's like Darren. He walks in Jerry's apartment. He says, "Mr. Kramer says, hey buddy." That's a great quick. He runs in like a Kramer. Next question. This is wrestling. This is towards Eric Berry. What was Dusty Rhodes' WWF nickname? Dusty Rhodes.
Buds.
Ooh, I'm gonna go Eric on this one. What do you got?
The Golden Boy.
Incorrect, but not too far off. What do you got over here? Anything, Casey?
The American Dream.
The American Dream. So Casey gets 2 points for that because he stole that one from old Eric. But yeah, he was the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, and that's when he had the black and yellow polka dots, and he'd come out with Sapphire, and they'd all dance in the ring.
And then his son was Gold Dust.
His son was Gold Dust, that's right. And then Cody Rhodes as well, who just left WWE to go do other things. So yeah, that was old Dusty Rhodes. We lost him earlier this year or last year. I forget when it was, but
I think I
R.I.P.
said,
Dusty.
I think I said it. Isn't that Oscar De La Hoya? Isn't he the Golden Boy?
The Golden Boy, yeah. Yeah, I think you were just making something
He had
up
some
there.
sweet WWE moves.
They'll get him in at WrestleMania at some point. They like their boxers.
That's true.
Here we go. Next Seinfeld question. This was Casey's topic. Why? Oh, here we go. Why does Jerry agree to wear the puffy shirt?
Buds.
Oh, there you go. Hey, I'm glad you buzzed in because I was so confused on what you were about to say without first buzzing in. Here we go, Casey.
It was a girlfriend that he was dating made it, or someone that he knew made it and promised to wear it on the show without actually seeing it.
That is...
I'm close, but it's probably not directly right.
That is kind of right, but not exactly what I'm looking for. Eric, do you have a guess?
Yeah. He got it from a girlfriend.
Sounds like you're paraphrasing Casey. You got any other thing? No?
Maybe he said it was his favorite kind of shirt.
Incorrect. It's actually he couldn't hear her. She was a low talker. So she
That's
asks
right.
him to do it, and he just
I can't
nods
believe I
and says,
forgot
yes, of course, sure. And he cannot hear what she's saying. It's Kramer's girlfriend, the low talker. And then at the end, when he badmouths the shirt, and she screams, "I'll kill you," or something, and he goes,
I heard that.
I heard.
I've seen it hanging. I think it might be hanging up at the Hermosa Beach Comedy Club.
Also in a closet in my house.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a couple of those for special occasions. You never know when you're going to get invited to a Buccaneer-related event, right? You go out there, and you're Captain Morgan. You walk the plank. You wear that.
Yep.
It's good times for everybody.
I'm a low talker.
Low talker. Yeah, you kind of are a low talker. I'm surprised. It seems like I'm just having a podcast with Casey. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. You're a great talker. You're great on the stand. We've seen you on court shows. Okay. We got the next question. Here it is. This is another WrestleMania question. This is early 90s WWF. Hulk Hogan Phase 2 for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 6.
Buds? Ultimate Warrior?
It is correct. He got it. Well done. It was the Ultimate Warrior, who we also, a lot of these wrestlers are kind of dropping like flies, especially some of the legends,
Yeah,
like
and
Macho
early.
Man and Dusty and Roddy Piper and Ultimate Warrior, all the things that are on your desk, Casey.
It's like amazing that Hogan's still around. It's like,
And just won that Gawker lawsuit.
yeah, now they're claiming bankruptcy. So
He should just freeze himself with all the money he's got now and just be around forever until they do another Three Ninjas sequel. They need him
Florida
for.
Cocoon.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be in some. Actually, that was Florida news,
That
wasn't
was
it?
Florida
Yeah, where
news.
that whole thing happened, where he
DJ was from Florida.
banged the friend's wife on camera and all that stuff. Have you guys seen the sex tape?
No.
Why don't we take 5 minutes to watch it? No?
And I actually haven't even looked for it.
Sure?
No.
And you search for dirty clips and things for clip shows all day long.
Not on this show.
Not on this show. No, we are on a clean Nickelodeon show.
A little bit kid-friendly on this one.
July 5th, it's Crash Leets on Nickelodeon. It was going to be on the Nicktoons Network. They moved it up to the big-time Nickelodeon Network. It's hosted by Rob Gronkowski. The three of us worked on Season 1, and the first 20 episodes start airing on Tuesday, July 5th. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I like shows like Ridiculousness or America's Funniest Videos, check out Crash Leets. It's like athletes with the word crash in the title. What do you guys think of the show? You think it'll be good?
I think it'll be good. Basically, everything I've seen, it's going really well.
Sure.
It's testing really well. But it's more like a kid-friendly ridiculousness. So
and
it's a broader audience.
Sure. You're not going to see somebody puking or pooping themselves, but you're going to see people falling pretty hard here and there, and interesting, funny clips.
There's still
I think
plenty of funny injuries to be had.
Sure. Exactly. Eric, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. The biggest.
Yeah.
The biggest variable is probably the host and the clips. And,
yes, I will say the host.
I never realized,
very
I knew
charismatic.
Gronk was popular, but like when you say his name, people are like, Gronk? Like they really, I put a thing on Facebook.
Oh, my friend's mom flipped out when she
people
found
like
out I was
lose
working
their
on the show.
minds. Yeah. Okay, so here is the next question. We just finished a wrestling question. We're going back to Seinfeld. So we're on the fifth question of each category. Here's number 5 for Seinfeld. What arcade game does George purchase to preserve his high score?
Buds.
Yes.
Frogger.
Frogger's correct. Casey's got it. Just an update on the score. Casey has 6 points right now, and Eric has 2. But Eric, you can still come back because there's quite a few questions to go. And
this sounds like Bernie Sanders.
who, me?
No, there's still a chance.
There's still a chance. You never know.
Things could change.
Before we nominate Casey, the first pop vinyl loving president of the country, we're gonna
Hashtag I'm with Casey.
Hashtag I'm with Casey. But you're gonna be indicted pretty soon. I'm pretty sure, Casey, for all the
I got some janky
things you
emails.
withheld. Yeah, a lot of weird emails about pop vinyls.
Yep.
This is a terrible anecdote we're trying to put together here. Okay, here's your next question. Number 5 for early 90s WWF. What wrestler made his debut at Survivor Series 1990 that still wrestles today?
Buzz.
Eric was first. What do you got?
Ric Flair.
Incorrect. Casey, got a guess?
I'm going to say Undertaker.
The Undertaker's correct.
Wow.
Survivor Series 1990. He's been wrestling for, that's 30 years? No, 26 years. He's been wrestling for longer than that, but he's been with WWE for that long. And he made his debut as, I think, the $1 Million Man's surprise Survivor Series partner, I believe. And he was doughier, he was paler, he was younger. The Undertaker. So 1 point, 2 points for Casey.
Yeah,
He's
we
got
lost
8
the
there.
pallbearer a couple of years ago.
We did. We're losing them all, right? It would be kind of interesting to be a pallbearer at Paul Bearer's funeral, right? He probably had 6 of them. He had sons and things. Here we go. Question number 6 for old Seinfeld. What actress plays Jerry's fake wife to get a dry cleaning discount? What actress plays Jerry's fake wife to get a dry cleaning discount?
Buds.
Eric, what do you got?
Kim Basinger.
Kim Basinger is incorrect. Not a bad guess. You're thinking of 8 Mile. No, you're not.
Buds.
Yes. Casey.
Courtney Cox?
Courtney Cox is correct. He pulled it. Casey, you bought
me a minute there.
you bought a game for me the other day. I was having a yard sale, and I put some pictures of stuff online, and I had Clue Seinfeld
Yeah.
Clue, and you said, why don't you just bring that to work?
Yeah, I'm like, I had no idea that even existed.
Yeah.
and it must be mine.
There you go. So you played a couple games so
I
far?
still haven't played it yet.
No?
I'm actually going to
You brought it home
break
and
it out this
you
weekend.
brought it home, and your wife said, more shit? Is that what
No,
she
I
said?
told her I was getting it. She's like, oh, no, that sounds fun.
Oh,
So-
nice. Very good.
But we still probably won't play
Save
it
it.
for...
You save it for a nice anniversary. That's what you do, right?
Yeah.
Here's your next question. A nice, terrible anniversary. Here we go. Number 6 for wrestling. Who was the $1 Million Man's tag team partner as the team called Money Incorporated? Money Inc.
Buds?
So, yes.
Virgil.
No, he was a manager, and that is a good guess, though. That's probably the second best guess you could have.
Lonely
besides-
Virgil.
lonelyvirgil.tumblr.com. Oh, man. I met him one time. And at a convention
At a
of some
signing,
kind.
yeah.
And I went up to him and I said, hey, you ever think about wrestling? And he just started swearing uncontrollably. Like he's nonstop swearing. He goes, no, man, I can't get in the ring. I break my dick. Who's going to pay for that? I ain't going to pay for the old man broken dick in some WWE ring. And I was like, cool, man. I'm going to go over here. And he's like, hey, don't you want to get a picture? And I was like, no, I'm okay. And he's like, what about an action figure? And he pulled out an action figure of him and the $1 Million Man in a Ziploc bag, like from his back pocket.
Oh, wow.
It was all crinkled and gross, and he's like, I'll sign these. And I'm like, you're going to sign the $1 Million Man? That's kind of weird. Like, it's just strange. Wow. It's like me signing David Hasselhoff's
I thought you were making a knock because he was just managing.
No, he was a manager. And,
he did become a wrestler.
He did become a wrestler for a short time. He was kind of sloppy in the ring, from what I remember. But they were looking for somebody else. Casey, any guesses?
Ric Flair?
It's not Ric Flair. It was IRS.
Oh,
his name was
IRS.
Erwin R. Shyster, and he was the tax man. He was a tax man character, and he would carry a briefcase, and his finishing move was called the write-off. It's pretty terrible stuff.
About that dude.
But yeah, IRS. Nobody gets the points there. We're back to Seinfeld over here. Seinfeld. How old were you when you started watching Seinfeld, Casey? Did you watch it as it came on?
I did. The two things I was really into were Seinfeld and The Simpsons, but my dad absolutely hated The Simpsons for some reason.
Sure.
Like, he's just like, oh, I can't stand this. Turn it off.
Yeah.
And
does he hate all animation or just The Simpsons?
I don't know what his deal was.
Some older people are like, I don't watch cartoons, and they're just turned off by cartoons.
But for some reason, The Simpsons just like
Not his
made
thing.
him furious for some reason. And then, but yeah, Seinfeld was on, and everybody could watch that, and I just thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I never really watched. I think I watched maybe the last season. We used to watch it as a family, like in my family room, and I was too young to even know what was going on. I think I was in 7th grade when that show went off, so I kind of I knew what was going on, but I didn't get a lot of the jokes.
That's kind of what happened with me. Like the last two seasons, I don't think I watched like first run because I was just getting older and going out more. But
yeah, and in high school though, they started playing a lot of the reruns with Seinfeld or with Simpsons. So it would be Simpsons at 10 and Seinfeld at 10:30 on Fox in Chicago, and I just that's how I kind of caught up on those shows.
Yeah, no, I'm totally loving the whole every Simpsons ever situation on FXX now because there's
nuts.
So many I haven't seen.
And you could search by clip and stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
I just watched Living Color back in those days.
Oh yeah,
I did watch it.
I used to watch that way before. That was early 90s, so I was young. I was 6, 7, 8, and I didn't know what was going on, but I was just like, Fire Marshal Bill. Yeah, it's great. Okay, next question is, I think we're on Seinfeld, right? Are we back on Seinfeld? I think so.
Yeah, it was IRS.
That's right, IRS. Here's number 7. What is the name of Elaine's pastry business with Mr. Lipman? What is the name of her pastry business with Mr. Lipman? What is it called? This is her ex-boss. They team up together. They have this idea based on a certain part of a pastry, and they're loving it. Any guesses? Any buzzes in? No guesses. Oh boy, this is the stumper of the episode so far.
Yeah, I can't think of it. Is it like Central Park something?
It's Top of the Muffin to You.
Top of the
Muffin to You, because they like the muffin tops. And she doesn't want the exclamation point at the end because she thinks it sounds like to you when she grabs them. And he's trying to have fun with it.
Donate it to the homeless, and they're like, what
These
the hell
are
is
just
this?
stumps. Rebecca De Mornay.
I remember there's a Mr. Lipman that played a principal on a Nickelodeon show. I forget.
Was the show called 15?
No.
Was the show called Welcome Freshman?
Yes.
Yes, that's
guy.
the one, bald guy. He was also in like Lawnmower Man, I think. Maybe that guy?
Maybe.
Something like that. Yeah.
Dude,
So it's Principal Lipman in that movie? They used to always mess with him?
show,
on that TV show? Yeah.
Yes.
Were you on that show? Is that why you're bringing it up?
Nope.
You could be. You could be on it right now in a reboot.
Maybe.
You could be Lipman.
Welcome, sophomore.
Welcome, sophomore. Here we go. Your next question about wrestling. What tall wrestler used the prefix psycho and the suffixes vicious and justice in his ring name?
Buds.
Yes.
Sid Vicious.
Sid, yeah. Sid Vicious, Sid, Psycho Sid, and Sid Justice. Those were 3 different names he had. So Casey's got 2 points there. Well done, Casey. Eric, were you familiar with that one? Did you have it on the tip of your tongue?
I knew it, but I was overthinking it.
Overthinking it.
I was like, it can't be that easy.
Yeah, that was it.
It's the only reason I got it.
There you go. Back to Seinfeld. We got a few more left in each category. How you feeling? Casey has about 11 points. It's about 11-2.
Nice.
It's a little bit of a landslide, but you got those 2 in there. And again, anything can happen, and you can get some more points later. And
It's okay. I'll play in ping pong after, so you can feel vindicated.
That's why we got it in the office. Ping pong table. Here we go. Next Seinfeld question. What state does the gang crash land in during their plane ride during the series finale? So it was 2 parts. In the first part of the series finale of Seinfeld, the gang crashes in a plane. What state does the plane crash in? Yeah.
Pennsylvania?
Incorrect.
Buds.
Yep.
Massachusetts.
Casey got it. 2 more points. He's stealing. No, that was 1 point because that was your topic.
That was my turn.
Yeah, that's 1. So yeah, they land in Massachusetts. Kramer's in the jumping around, got water in his ear, and things go awry. Did you guys like the Seinfeld finale? What'd you think of it?
I know John Panette was in it.
Yeah. Everyone's dying in this podcast that we've mentioned. He passed a couple years ago. I saw him. I went to watch a show with a friend of mine that was on the show at the Ontario, California Improv, and he was the headliner. And this was maybe a year before he died, and he was very heavy. And they had to literally, 2 bouncers would go over, and he would lean back on them like a, the push cart? Like a
dolly.
Like a dolly. And then they would just kind of like lift him up to the stage because the stage didn't have a ramp or steps or something, or he couldn't do the steps.
Wow.
And I was like, this guy's in bad shape. And then he died a little bit after that, but he was hysterical.
And wasn't like that his whole routine was like
he just
about
talked
food
about
and being fat. And
talked about buffets.
But he was
buffet owners cringing in terror.
I would say besides Jim Gaffigan, there's no better food related comedian than Panette. He was so funny, especially that night. And a guy a year away from his death, you'd think maybe he didn't have the health to do like a 60-minute awesome show, but it was great. I was happy to see him before then. You guys have any Panette story? Did you ever do a show with him, Eric?
No, I saw him in D.C. maybe 99, somewhere around there.
You've told me before you seem to remember all the years you've seen certain comedians. You're like, I saw Dane Cook, I saw Chappelle in these certain years.
Never saw those two. It's just
I may have made those 2 up.
Yeah. I did see Bobcat Goldthwait back in 94.
Back in 94. How do you remember it was 94?
It's just easy. I saw
Shakes the Clown Tour.
Panette in D.C. I left the East Coast in 2000, so I knew it was somewhere around there.
And you grew up in what state?
In upstate New York.
Oh yeah, very good. The whole Barry clan.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. What are the other? So I know you and Dan Barry do the producing. What do the other 2 siblings do? Are they in the production world?
I don't know. I got to check in with them. I think.
Here's the next question. It's about wrestling. Yeah, because we just asked about Seinfeld landing. Your next question about wrestling. What wrestler would wiggle his hips for the ladies and yell, "Cut the music" on the mic at the start of his matches?
Buds.
Yes.
Ravishing Rick Rude.
Answered before Eric. 2 points for Casey. Did you have that one?
Yeah,
Eric?
I was still thinking about what they do for work.
Your brothers? You're still on that? Well, at least your head's thinking of something, right? Next question.
I loved Ravishing Rick Rude, by the way.
Wasn't he great?
He was hilarious.
Nobody
always.
Airbrushing on his tights, man. I just want to do that. I just want a pair of jeans with my face and a microphone on the butt, right on the butt. Wouldn't that be nice? Mm-hmm. You'd wear those? Would you buy those?
No.
You wouldn't wear them? No. I'm going to set up an Etsy page. $400 one pair.
GoFundMe.
Seinfeld. We are on our 9th question for each category. So here's number 9 for Seinfeld. What movie does Kramer watch when he decides to make a living will? What is the name of that movie? It's a fictional movie in the Seinfeld universe. He goes, I got to get a will because of this woman being hooked up on life support. Do you remember the name of the movie? This is a tough question. Probably one of the toughest questions of the cast. Any ideas?
It's not Checkmate, is it?
No, but that is another fake. Seinfeld movie.
Checkmate, Rochelle.
Yeah, go through all of them. This one's tough. Do you have any ideas, Aaron?
No.
Just no. It was called The Other Side of Darkness. The Other Side of Darkness.
I don't remember that one.
That's probably the toughest question. I was trying to really stump you guys. The Other Side of Darkness. No points on that one. Here is your wrestling question. The number 9 wrestling question. The 1992 Royal Rumble was won by what wrestler? One of WCW's biggest names. 1992 Royal Rumble was won by what wrestler? One of WCW's biggest names.
WCW?
WCW's biggest names. He moved over to WWF.
Buds?
Yep.
Was it Ric Flair?
It was Ric Flair. That is correct. Woo. Ric Flair came over. He won. Woo. There's a great post-win interview with him and I think Mr. Perfect and Bobby Heenan where they pour champagne and he screams into
By the
camera.
way, if wrestling people out there, if you've never seen the Ultimate Ric Flair, I think it's like a 3-disc DVD set they put out in like the early 2000s. It's amazing. It's
a good set. And they're about to do 30 for 30 on ESPN of Ric Flair. And to see all his antics and his career. He's been around forever.
All that footage of him and like the Four Horsemen, like and how they lived and stuff is just amazing.
Wild. Like every night, insane parties and wheeling and dealing. Those guys, styling and profiling. I just bought myself a nice Ric Flair T-shirt from Hot Topic. You ever go on Hot Topic and you're like, I'm not a 14-year-old girl. I don't know if I should be in here. Now it's turned into a collectible store.
It's the bane of my life because there's a lot of exclusive Funko Pops there, and I'm like, here I am 38, coming in here, Green Day blasting. Like, hey, what toys you got? And
Hey, you American idiots! Can anybody help me on this register? Oh no, you don't know how to run it
put
because
the
you're
Fallout
15
Boy
years
album
old.
down and help me.
Yeah, I haven't been in one in a while.
Where do you shop? What's your store of choice there, Eric? What do you get? You go to
Target.
Target. You go there.
Yeah.
You stay away from those bathrooms, though, right?
Yeah, I live.
Not rocking that Hollister action?
You ever do any of those Target protests with those? You ever see those women?
No, I think that's only like Deep South.
Deep South.
I don't go to the
woman
bathroom
running.
that much.
Nobody goes to the bathroom. I mean, I've gone to the bathroom maybe once in a Target in my life, and I've been in Targets probably 200 times, 300 times. You know what I
I
mean? Like,
actually walked. You can't see it; it's around a corner. But
Yeah.
I thought there was some new sign, so I actually went back there for the first time ever,
yeah.
and it looked the same.
It's the exact same.
I'm having a really hard time with people freaking out about that whole bathroom thing
It's
because it's
strange.
like the last place I think would be any kind of like it's just so dirty in there.
Yeah. Nobody's doing anything in there. Here is the last Seinfeld question. This is number 10, and then we have one more wrestling question after that. Last Seinfeld question of the podcast. What comic strip does Elaine unknowingly steal from when making her New Yorker cartoon?
Buds,
Yes.
peanuts.
No. Any other guesses?
Buds?
Yeah.
Was it a
Peterman goes, Elaine, it's a
Ziggy?
Ziggy. It is Ziggy. Yes, that's
Ziggy
right.
Azalea.
Ziggy Azalea. Is that a little mashup you're working on? Ziggy
Yeah.
Azalea?
I think I'd do a lot better if you said name a comic.
Just name any wrestler.
Yeah.
You'd be good at that. Eric, here's the last wrestling question of the 10 that we asked you. What wrestler had an upset on Razor Ramon by doing a moonsault off the top rope into a pin on Monday Night Raw in 1993? Put this guy on the map. Did a moonsault upset on Razor Ramon. I'll give you a hint. There's numbers.
Pretty specific.
In the
Somebody
name.
need to be Rain Man to get this one. It was aired on a Monday night in '93.
That's right. What do you think?
Junkyard Dog.
Look over behind your shoulder. The guy that's also in the room over there. Our producers. He's giving you some.
He's doing the 3
cues.
count.
Yep. Does that help you out at all?
That means he was pinned.
Yes, and because he pinned Razor Ramon, they gave him this nickname. Casey?
Oh God.
Nothing? I'll give you another hint. This is because it's the last
Oh
question.
wait, the 1, 2, 3.
The 1, 2, 3 kid. Casey stole that question. Yeah, that was his name. He turned later into X-Pac, Sean Waltman.
That's right.
1, 2, 3 kid. He was also, before that, he was the Kamikaze kid, and then just the kid. They couldn't come up with a name for him. And then when he pinned,
Wolfpack?
what's his name? Yeah, Wolfpack. Six-Pack. No, Six-Pack. I think his name was.
I had totally
8 Ball,
tuned
something
out.
like that?
By '93, I
were
had
done?
tuned out.
Moved on to girls?
I started shred sledding,
Shred sledding? What's that?
skateboarding.
Oh, that's a nickname for skateboard? I've never heard that before.
Not a serious one.
I thought you went into some kind of extreme sledding.
No.
That is the end of our 2 sets of 10 questions. Casey kind of dominated. He got quite a few tick marks. Eric, you got a couple. We still have a couple more things that you can win some points on. So this next one is for 2 points. If you get this one right, you get 2 points. It's a little bit tougher. It combines both things. Okay, so it's something that combines both topics in some way. So here is that question. Combo question. What promotion held a live event called It Ain't Seinfeld in 1998, and why was it called that? So we're talking about a wrestling promotion that held a live event called It Ain't Seinfeld in 1998, and why was it called that? Either one of you guys can buzz
Buds.
in. Yep.
Was it a cage match? And they called it that to hype it up.
Yes, to a degree, but a little bit more specific. Casey, any guesses?
Did Jason Alexander make an appearance on WWE?
That would have been good. I think that's better. It was actually ECW, and
Okay.
they had this big event on the same night as the last episode of Seinfeld in 1998.
I was going to say it's like,
yeah, so
like
they
something steering away from watching Seinfeld.
they
at the same time.
advertise it as It Ain't Seinfeld. It's Extreme Championship
I
Wrestling.
like how you pretend I'm close. when
Yeah.
Not even.
You were close. Good effort all around. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to go around the court. You'll be good at this one, okay? So this is where you can redeem yourself. This is for 5 points if you get this one right. This is the last little trivia game we're going to play and see who our winner is. So we're going to go around. You have to name either a WWF superstar from the 90s. We'll say 90 to 95. Or 90 to 95. We'll do early 90s, so the first 5 years. You have to name any wrestler, or you have to name a Seinfeld character. Okay, so we just go around the horn. I get to play this one as well. So we're going to kind of go around the horn. It's called the category game. You've played it, maybe drinking some beers and stuff like that. So we're going to do it now, and I'll participate. If I somehow win, so if you can't think of one, you're eliminated. So it'll come down to two.
So either one of us can say either a wrestler or a Seinfeld character?
Yeah, all three of us. We can say either a Seinfeld character or a wrestler. We'll go around the horn, and if you can't think of one, you're eliminated, and when it gets down to one person, that person will get 5 points. And if I'm the person who wins, I'll award the 5 points to, let's be honest, Eric. Eric's going to get those 5 points. So you got a 2-on-1 situation here, Casey.
Categories with Buds.
Okay, so I'll kick it off. First Seinfeld character I'm going to say is Peterman, Mr. Peterman. Casey, we'll go to you.
I'm going to say Mickey.
Mickey, yep, little person.
Kramer.
Sure. Banya.
George Costanza.
Steinbrenner.
I'm going to say Elaine.
Frank Costanza.
So we can't do wrestlers?
No, you can. You can go Seinfeld or wrestlers. Yeah, we haven't dived in there yet.
Honky Tonk
Man. I'm going to say $1 Million Man.
Doink.
What you got, Eric?
Hillbilly Jim.
Yeah, he was probably in there in the 90s, 90 to 95 at some point as a manager or something. I'm going to say The Undertaker.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Eric.
Jake the Snake.
Oh, he's thinking about it. Jake the Snake Roberts, yeah. I'm going to say Virgil.
I think I said him earlier. I'm going to say Earthquake.
Sure.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Oh, it's my turn. Oh boy. Hulk Hogan.
I'll say $1 Million Man.
Oh, already been said. So that means you're eliminated.
Wait, did we say it in this round?
We did it. I said it a couple times ago. Yeah. So
I knew
if
we
you
were
say
talking
one
about
that's
it
already been
earlier.
said, you're eliminated. That's part of it too. So Casey, you're out, and we do have to punch you in the stomach. So have you stand up.
You got quite the...
Bring over our producer. He's got one of those sock and boppers on his hand. He's going to punch you as hard as he can. Okay, and then Eric, it's down to me and you. What do you got? Seinfeld or wrestling character?
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
I'll say Macho Man Randy Savage.
You're out.
Yeah, so you're out.
Oh.
Yeah.
That bought me 10 cents.
Good tactic. Now, this is great because if I win, you still get the 5 points. So this is almost for naught.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can we use ones that we talked about earlier?
Sure, as long as we didn't say them in this game right here.
Junkyard Dog.
I'm going to say Jerry Seinfeld. We haven't said Jerry.
No.
Nothing? 3 seconds. I think I'm going to call it. So I won. I got 5 points. I'm giving it to you. You got 5 more points. So that gives you a nice 7. So that is the end of the game with a total of 7 points for Eric. I'm going to award you second place. Well done, Eric. What do you think of your performance?
I can't believe I couldn't think of more wrestlers.
That was your thing. Next time I have you on, we'll have to do something you're a little bit more
No
in
one
tune
even
with.
said Hulk Hogan, did they?
No, he did.
I just said it right at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. So Eric got 7 points throughout the podcast today. Casey, you ended up with looks about 15, 20, something like that. I ran out of space on my little sticky note.
I'll take it.
You'll take it. For winning first place in this competition, this Battle of Brutes, I have 2 amazing prizes. Casey, you have the first prize. It is a movie that I stole from a bag in my mother-in-law's room, and it's called Gardens of the Night, a film by Damian Harris, Jillian Jacobs, John Malkovich, and Tom Arnold. 3 actors you couldn't wait to see
Malkovich
together.
and Arnold together at last.
Rated
I'm
R.
excited.
2008. It is in what looks like some sort of food packaging, and it's 4 stars according to boxoffice.com, which I don't think is a real website.
Packaged by Hot Wheels. What's
There
going
you
on
go. That is for you, sir. We'll take a picture of
thank
it
you.
and show it on the website. And also, Eric, don't feel left out. You get yourself a nice Lucky Strike keychain of the bowling pin, right? You love giveaways. You love memorabilia. You take that. Some swag for you. Thank you guys so much. You have anything coming up you want to plug? You want to plug anything that you do online, Casey, on a daily basis?
I mean, mostly if you can find me on Facebook.
Sure.
Send me a friend request. I'm not too choosy.
What's your name on there?
I think it's, it's got like a number. It's like Casey_O'Connor.566.
There you go. If you want Florida news, if you want all kinds of great pop culture news, I get all my you breaking news for everything for me, man. So look for Casey
email
O'Connor.
is livingincinema@AOL.com. I think if you look by that, it'll
There
probably
you
come
go.
up.
He's got a couple of those trial discs. He's still running the hours on those. AOL.com address. livingincinema@AOL.com. That's Casey O'Connor.
Dialed up for live.
And you can see his work in the form of clips he found for the show Crash Leads on July 5th, premiering with Rob Gronkowski on Nickelodeon. Eric, what do you got going on? What do you want people to find you on? You've got a lot of you have an illustrious career as an actor, as a rapper. Anything you want to direct people to from your past?
If Hillary doesn't get indicted, I'll drop a new rap hit.
If Hillary doesn't get indicted, a new rap hit from, what's your rap name?
I'll probably come up with a new one.
Yeah.
The old one's kind of tired.
What was it?
Cheesy E.
Cheesy E. Okay.
MC Scat
MC
But
Scat Cat.
yeah, just check out Crash Leads this summer. I think it's going to be the best show ever.
Of course.
And my website's ericberryentertainment.com, but I haven't updated it in a while.
Sure. Mostly.
But I still have the URL, unlike Casey. He just let it go.
You just let it go.
I did.
You should snatch it up and then sell it to him for double the price.
Some other guys already got it.
There you go. Well, he beat you to it, and Casey beat you to it today in this trivia game. Eric, thank you guys so much for playing today, and have a good rest of your day, fellas.
Cool.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
All right.
Listener quiz.
All right, gang. It's time for the play-at-home portion of the podcast called the Listener Quiz. I'm going to ask you 3 random questions, all from the website randomtriviagenerator.com. There's no set category on these 3 questions. They are totally random, and you have to answer them in the form of an email to ryan@ryanbuds.com, or you can tweet it to me at ryanbuds, Instagram at ryanbuds, or find me on Facebook and send me a message. All you have to do is respond with the 3 answers to these questions, and you'll be entered in a raffle if you have all 3 of those correct to win a prize. This week's prize is a Big Hero 6 poster, which is mashed up with Tom Hanks's Big movie poster. So it's Baymax and Tom Hanks dancing on the keyboard. I created it, and it's available on my Square Market store for $10, but you're going to win it for free if you are the random name chosen from the listener quiz this week. Here are your 3 questions. Question number 1, what 2 colors appear on the Austrian flag? What 2 colors are on Austria's flag? Question number 2, which president had a sign on their desk that said "The buck stops here"? Which president, U.S. president, had a sign on their desk that said "The buck stops here"? And question number 3, Dr. Sam Beckett was a physicist character on what television show? Dr. Sam Beckett was a physicist character on what television show? Answer those 3 questions and send them to me in an email, ryan@ryanbuds.com, or on social media, ryanbuds on all those things, and I will pick a random winner if you get all 3 of those correct, and you'll be announced on the next podcast. Okay, and also special shout out today to our good friend Frosty, Frawsty, DJ Frosty, my good friend Brian Foster from LA. He's a DJ that provides the intro track and outro track for this podcast, and we thank him for it. You could check him out on soundcloud.com/Frosty, FRAWSTY. If you guys like the podcast, come check me out live. See the live version, triviabuds.com. You could see all my locations around LA, and I would love to see you and help you win free drinks and prizes at a number of venues. Before we go, please, if you like this podcast, leave me a nice review on iTunes and share it with a friend that likes trivia or wrestling or Seinfeld or any of that good stuff. Pop culture in general will be the audience for this show. So please give them a share and let them know that it's out there. And I hope everybody has a great, awesome, super fun week. Bye-bye.